Parents tell us every single week something that honestly breaks our hearts. They say, we've been to every specialist, we've run every test, but nobody can tell us why our child is struggling. Blood work comes back normal, MRIs show nothing, EEGs are clear, and yet your child is still dealing with chronic ear infections, speech delays, sensory meltdowns, focus challenges, or sleep struggles that just won't quit. So what's happening? The reality is that traditional pediatric medicine is designed to look for pathology and disease. They're asking the question, is something seriously wrong? But what they're completely missing is another critical question. How well is your child's nervous system actually functioning? Think about it. Your pediatrician measures your child's height and weight at every visit. They track growth on a chart, but what about the system that actually controls that growth? What about the system that coordinates digestion, sleep, immunity, movement, behavior, emotions, and development? The nervous system is essentially the air traffic controller for your child's entire body. And if that system is stuck in stress mode, overwhelmed, or dysregulated, every other system in the body can struggle. That's where neurological insight scans come into play. For thousands of families, these scans have finally provided the answers that they've been searching for. This conversation is especially for those parents who feel exhausted from collecting diagnoses without understanding and getting real solutions. Maybe you've also been told they'll grow out of it, or let's just wait and see. But deep down, you know something isn't quite right. You're not looking for another label, you're looking for answers. Let me tell you about a little boy named Braxton. At just 1 week old, his parents were told their beautiful baby boy needed to be evaluated for seizures and infantile spasms. Every time they laid him on his back, his body would go into these uncomfortable spasms. His parents couldn't sleep. They were terrified to even change his diaper. They saw multiple neurological specialists who warned them that these spasms might get worse. The next step was a hospital EEG, but the appointment was 4 weeks away. While they waited, someone recommended something different, neurological insight scans. These scans showed something very, very critical. Braxton's nervous system was extremely stressed and dysregulated. The stress from birth had essentially locked his body into fight or flight mode. His nervous system couldn't calm down, coordinate, or regulate. But here's the part that changed everything. The scans didn't just give his parents another diagnosis. They showed them the root cause and gave them a safe plan to help his body release that stress. After just the first week of gentle, specific chiropractic adjustments, Braxton stopped having spasms. Not fewer, not milder, completely gone. His mom described him as calm, happy, and sleeping beautifully. And when they finally made it to the hospital EEG appointment weeks later, it came back completely clear. Today, Braxton is thriving because his parents got the tests that actually measured what mattered. So what exactly do these scans measure? Insight technology uses 3 different scans that work together to give us a full picture of your child's nervous system. The first one is the neurothermal scan. This scan looks at how stress is affecting the autonomic nervous system, which controls things like digestion, immunity, and organ function. It often helps explain things like reflux, constipation, chronic ear infections, or frequent illness. The second scan is the neurospinal EMG scan. This measures muscle tension and stress patterns in the spine and nervous system. It helps us understand issues like sensory challenges, developmental delays, focus struggles, and coordination patterns. The third scan is the heart rate variability scan, or HRV. This tells us how well your child's nervous system adapts to stress. Kids who struggle with transitions, emotional regulation, or sleep often have nervous systems stuck in overdrive, and HRV helps us to see that very clearly. Together, these scans give us a picture that traditional testing never even looks for. One of the most fascinating things we see in the EMG scans are specific patterns in the nervous system. We often describe them as raging bull or drunken bull. A raging bull pattern means the nervous system is stuck in overdrive. These are the kids who seem constantly wired, anxious, hyperactive, and struggle settling down or sleeping. A drunken bull pattern shows poor coordination and organization in the nervous system. These kids may struggle with focus, low muscle tone, sensory challenges, or learning delays. And many kids show a combination of both. These patterns usually don't come from just one thing. They come from what we like to call the perfect storm. Layers of stress that start early in life, prenatal stress during pregnancy, birth stress or interventions, early illnesses, antibiotics, environmental pressures that stack up over time. All of these layers can push the nervous system into a dysregulated state. But here's the good news. Kids are incredibly adaptable. When we restore balance to the nervous system, we often see these scan patterns begin to change, and with that, we see changes in sleep, digestion, behavior, focus, and immune function. This is why insight scans can change everything. Instead of guessing, we now have objective data. They show us exactly what's happening in your child's nervous system, and they allow us to track progress as that system heals. Without this information, therapy can sometimes feel like pushing a car with the parking brake on. You're doing everything right, but progress is slow because the foundation isn't working properly. When we address the nervous system first, everything else can start to work the way it was designed to. If you're tired of hearing wait and see, or you feel like you're collecting labels without getting real answers, insight scans may be exactly what your family has been looking for. Your child deserves more than symptom management. They deserve a nervous system that's functioning at its full potential so they can finally thrive. If you want to learn more, click the link in our Instagram bio, send us a DM on Instagram or Facebook, or schedule with myself, Dr. Devin, and Dr. Liv at Lighthouse Family Chiropractic here in Charleston, South Carolina. Let's get your child the answers and the help they truly deserve.